Putup, we started last week. A con artist would a Putup is about a con artist studying his victim, knowing who the victim is and what part of the victim's story or personality he or she can use as a doorway into gaining the trust of the victim, or what we call the mark, right? So that's a basic thing we call the put up, and it's a stronghold of con artistry. You can't con a person that you don't know, right? More like Sun Tzu says, you can't win against someone, at least not all the time, against someone you don't know, right? To guarantee you success all the time, you must know yourself and know your victim, or your target, right? So uh, um, the ability to know your victim is the first step of con artistry. It's called the put up, like we said. The moment when a confidence artist investigates and chooses a spray. So it's a moment where the con artist investigates and chooses a spray. You know, uh, Again, a con artist doesn't just pick anyone. He picks someone that's suited. He picks someone that's looking for something that is able to give, albeit temporarily, to hold captive, the target of the con artistry, right? So Maria Konikova says that uh, if you can size up someone well, you can sell the person anything. If you can size up someone, know the person, enough, you can sell anything to the person because you know what the person wants, and you can then use that as a bait. Same way you can go when you go fishing. Once you know what the fish wants, you use that, to hold the fish captive. Uh, so it's so when we talk about knowing people, there are two folds, two ways of knowing people, studying people. One is called the person perception. Is the way is using our five senses, any of our five senses, to note the person. It could be by what we see in the person, right? How tall the person is, the complexion, what we see the person do, not do. That could be a way we can size up a person with what we see. Could be with what we smell, how the person smells. You might just figure if it smells like this, then it's this or that. And last week I gave an example of a particular smell that I used to associate in one area. I've always done that until I was in Houston and I saw some from Trinidad and Tobago, and I perceived the same smell, but I could not make the same deduction, right? So it's just the first step. Or the first thing that it's my senses is just a first step. Is now how my brain processes it to interpret the person. It's just like all the things we see. Everything that we see is upside down. It's our brain that corrects it, right? When you see me right now, you'll see me directly on Facebook. You will think this is my right hand, but this is my left hand. Believe it or not, this is my left hand. But the way you're seeing it on Facebook, because it has not been processed, you are seeing this as my right hand, but it is my left hand, right? You seeing it on YouTube, you would see this as my left hand because YouTube kind of processes the image, right? Unlike Facebook. Facebook shows it as it is. YouTube kind of processes the image, right? It's if you look at this on Facebook, you won't be able to read it because the letters are backwards, because that's just exactly the way the Facebook mirror sees it. If you look at this here on YouTube, it's processed, it's turned rightly, right? Just like the brain would do to the image that we see, right? So it's one thing to see something, it's another thing to process it to know exactly truly what it is, right? So it's person perception is what our five senses receive, then and will process and will get to interpret who the person is or not, based on what our five senses see, right? So so the first part in person perception is the observation. You observe what you see about the person. You look at the different attributes, then you can interpret it, right? So it's in person perception, you have the observation, the looking at the attributes, integrating it all together, and interpreting the behavior from what you see, right? But there's another one, which is a deeper sense of perception. It's not just you what your five senses observe, but you being able to interpret the mind that is producing what you see, right? So that's a deeper level of perception or knowing someone. It's not just what the person is doing, sitting, complexion, outward appearance, but you're a, a con artist goes beyond that to ask how is the mind operated? Why is this person doing what he or she is doing? Is he an introvert, an extrovert? You know, is he an open person, agreeable person? You're trying to know the personality of the person. You're trying to know how the mind is working. So it's the ability to infer the presence of a mind in other beings, not living things or non-living things, and make judgment about what kind of a mind that being possesses, right? Don't forget, animals don't have minds, right? But you're trying to interpret what the processing of the mind is, right? And that ties to con artistry, because in con artistry, you're writing a script, like a play script, in which your victim is a part of that script. So you have to write that script having an insight, a suggestion, or on to how you feel or think your victim will respond to your respond to the game. You're already, as it were, you're assuming, oh, if I say this, it will do this. If I do this, it will do this. So you are planning or writing the script such that the victim becomes a part of the play, without knowing, right? So you're pretty much writing a script for what the victim would do and what you need to do to make that your victim have that kind of response. And to do that, you have to have an idea of the way you think he processes things, right? A con artist goes to that level of detail, to plan his game, so because it's trying to win trust. It's trying to make it as natural as possible, and in such a way that the victim does not know that it's all a game, right? So